The time to reveal the secrets of ancient Egypt has finally come.
The one and only Zahi Hawass will be giving an enthralling lecture titled Archaeologists Are Lying About Egyptian Pyramids. So get ready to learn everything you thought you knew about the magnificent Egyptian pyramids. With his audacious accusation that archaeologists are lying about the Egyptian pyramids, renowned Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass has sparked an uproar. Hawass, who's renowned for his important contributions to Egyptology, has provoked a heated discussion among archaeologists. While some contend that his claims are valid, many experts adamantly disagree, pointing to the mountain of evidence and academic studies that support our current understanding of the pyramids. So let's start this fascinating conversation. Zahi Hawass is a well-known name in the field of Egyptology and is well known for his knowledge of and dedication to studying and safeguarding Egypt's ancient history. His most recent claim, however, that Egyptologists are lying about the pyramids has stirred up a lot of debate among archaeologists. The conventional wisdom that the pyramids were constructed by the ancient Egyptians as tombs for their pharaohs is called into question by Hawass's assertion. Instead, he claims that they were created by a technologically superior culture that existed before the ancient Egyptians, perhaps by aliens or other creatures. Zahi Hawass recently made the contentious assertion that archaeologists have been lying about the original origins and building methods of the Egyptian pyramids. Hawass has long been acknowledged for his contributions to the knowledge and preservation of ancient Egyptian sites. He's most well known for his previous position as head of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, but his most recent comments have really stirred up the archaeological world. Hawass said that the widely accepted theory that the pyramids were constructed by ancient Egyptians under the guidance of pharaohs is a complete fabrication during a talk at a conference in Giza. He stated that there are no historical records to back up the widely held belief that the pyramids were built using a lot of human labor and crude instruments. Hawass asserts that the newly discovered material backs up this allegation. Hawass's claims, according to his detractors, are unsupported by hard data and largely rest on conjecture. They point out that a substantial body of archaeological evidence, including inscriptions and depictions discovered inside the pyramids themselves, has led the scientific world to accept the mainstream notion that the pyramids were constructed by the ancient Egyptians for decades. According to scholars in Egyptology, the ancient Egyptians possessed the vast knowledge and engineering abilities necessary to build the pyramids. The accuracy and scale required to construct these enormous monuments are evidence of the creativity of this prehistoric society. In reality, substantial evidence, including tomb and pyramid inscriptions, offers in-depth descriptions of the ceremonies involved in and the process of building pyramids. Although Hawass's allegations have undoubtedly generated interest and debate, many people are skeptical and think they're just sensationalism. Some claim he might be attempting to draw attention to himself or further his own beliefs. Others think Hawass's comments as a prominent member of the archaeological community might potentially undercut the effort and scientific rigor that has gone into researching ancient Egyptian society. In the end, there will still be disagreement about Hawass's assertions because more data and analysis are required to confirm or refute them. The study of ancient civilizations is a field that constantly changes, with new findings frequently distorting earlier theories. The conventional explanation of how the pyramids were constructed by the ancient Egyptians will probably continue to be the prevailing theory among archaeologists and historians until further convincing evidence emerges. Hawass's idea has its detractors who contend that the preponderance of evidence favors the conventional wisdom that the pyramids were built by ancient Egyptians. As evidence that these monuments were built by humans, they cite the copious historical records, hieroglyphic inscriptions, and sheer architectural sophistication of these constructions. Additionally, they emphasize the countless investigations made by specialists, scholars, and earlier generations of archaeologists that have aided in advancing our knowledge of the pyramids. The significant use of ancient tools discovered at pyramid sites is one of the key pieces of proof for the human construction idea. Various tools and the remains of laborers who contributed to the construction of the pyramids have been uncovered during archaeological digs. These findings establish a concrete link between labor-intensive construction techniques and human labor. The alignment of the pyramids with astronomical and topographical elements also lends credence to the idea of human cunning and understanding. The perfect positioning of the pyramids in relation to celestial objects, such as the North Star, reveals a thorough knowledge of astronomy and exact calculations that were unattainable for an extraterrestrial civilization. Additionally, the steady development of pyramid building methods over the course of many dynasties reveals an iterative and progressive growth on the part of the ancient Egyptians. The many architectural designs and structural advancements found in various pyramids show how knowledge and expertise have progressed over time, which is consistent with the assumption that they were built by humans rather than being suddenly introduced by a highly developed civilization. Hawass's statements, according to critics, are unsupported by hard data and are instead based on conjecture and ambiguous interpretations of ancient texts and symbols. They contend that individuals contesting accepting theories have the burden of proof and that extraordinary claims call for extraordinary evidence. But it's crucial to keep in mind that scientific research ought to promote skepticism and free discussion. Even if most archaeologists disagree with Hawass's claim, having a respectful discussion about competing theories can result in new discoveries and a better understanding of the past. Intense discussion has been ignited among the archaeological community by Zahi Hawass's daring claim that archaeologists are lying about the Egyptian pyramids. The human building idea is supported by a wealth of evidence. However, it is important to approach the subject with an open mind because scientific investigation should constantly encourage challenging accepted beliefs. It is possible to make improvements and new discoveries in our understanding of the pyramids through courteous and evidence-based discussion. Hawass's claim centers on a number of elements related to the Egyptian pyramids, such as the construction techniques, the goals of the buildings, and the roles played by the workers and slaves. He claims that important information about these well-known representations of ancient Egyptian society has been concealed by conventional archaeological investigation. According to Hawass, the pyramids were actually erected by trained craftsmen rather than a sizable army of slaves, showing a more egalitarian society than previously thought. The first allegation made by Hawass regarding the building of the pyramids disputes the widely held belief that a sizable workforce of slave laborers was employed to construct the monuments. This argument, supported by archaeological data such as the presence of sizable cemeteries close to the pyramid construction sites, which suggests that many laborers perished during the building process. Hawass contends that due to the precision and knowledge needed for their construction, the pyramids were erected by master craftsmen. He cites the precisely positioned bricks and the intricate interior architecture as examples of the craftsmanship used. This theory, however, does not answer the issue of where these knowledgeable artisans would have originated from. There is evidence that points to the employment of a sizable labor force. For instance, graffiti discovered in the pyramids lists the names and positions of the laborers, which suggest a hierarchy and organization. The discovery of worker settlements close to the pyramid sites also lends weight to the idea of a sizable labor force. Questionable is Hawass's assertion that the building of pyramids implies a more equitable society. The social system in ancient Egypt was not necessarily egalitarian, although it is true that talented craftsmen would have had a greater position. Pyramid building involves a hierarchical organizational structure and a large labor force, both of which point to a more complicated social structure with distinct divisions of labor. Furthermore, other features of ancient Egyptian culture, like the importance of pharaohs and the presence of slaves, point to a hierarchical rather than an egalitarian society. Slavery was widespread in ancient Egypt, and the pharaohs were revered as gods with unrestricted power. Although Hawass's statements could cast doubt on several facets of conventional archaeological study of the pyramids, they fall short of offering a thorough and compelling alternative story. The traditional hypothesis of pyramid construction is supported by the evidence suggesting that there was a significant labor force involved in building the structure, including the existence of worker cemeteries and communities. Despite his important contributions to the field, Hawass has encountered skepticism from a number of knowledgeable experts in Egyptology. His claims, according to his detractors, are inconsistent with the body of prior research done by archaeologists over a long period of time and lack of sufficient supporting evidence. They contend that he frequently makes assertions that ignore these well-known facts, confusing the public and hurting attempts to preserve and comprehend ancient Egyptian history. Additionally, these detractors criticize Hawass's strategy for excavation and preservation. They contend that he favors well-known discoveries and public attention over thorough and careful scientific procedures. Allegations of poor handling of artifacts and a general lack of professionalism result from this. Hawass's autocratic leadership style has come under fire. His opponents contend that he has monopolized authority within the discipline of Egyptology, reducing opportunities for other competent experts to contribute and impart their knowledge. As a result, the field now lacks diversity and is less innovative. Hawass has even been charged with manipulating his position for personal benefit by some detractors. As proof of his self-promotion and profit-seeking, they cite his countless television appearances, book agreements, and lucrative speaking engagements. Concerns have been raised concerning potential conflicts of interest and diminished integrity in his work as a result. Overall, despite the fact that Hawass has undoubtedly made a significant contribution to Egyptology, his methods and demeanor have drawn criticism from experts in the field. His acts are said to put personal benefit and media attention ahead of the meticulous preservation and comprehension of ancient Egyptian history, according to his detractors, who contend that his assertions lack academic rigor. There is universal agreement among archaeologists that a large number of people, including expert craftspeople, managers, and a sizable labor force, were engaged in the construction of the pyramids. Theoretically, a sizable workforce, not slaves, contributed to the creation of these architectural marvels, according to data acquired from excavation sites, hieroglyphics, and ancient manuscripts. The conclusions drawn from extensive research carried out by different experts inspire us to appreciate the variety of knowledge and tools used in construction. The equipment and materials utilized, the architectural plans, and the layout of the construction sites are just a few examples of the tangible evidence these experts have examined at numerous pyramid sites. They have also examined the written documents like papyrus scrolls and hieroglyphics, which shed further light on the personalities and occupations of those who worked on the pyramids. The finding of worker villages close to pyramid sites is a crucial piece of evidence that refutes the idea that slavery was practiced widely. These villages provided housing for the workers and their families, demonstrating that they were not slaves but rather free people who lived and worked in a community. Cemeteries for the laborers also have been found during excavations, highlighting their significance and establishing them as respected members of society. Overall, scientists agree that building the pyramids was a massive endeavor that called for the cooperation of a varied workforce with specialized talents. These amazing structures were built through a community effort rather than through the forced labor of slaves. For a very long time, archaeologists have worked to examine, comprehend, and share information about various facets of past civilizations. Different views and interpretations of ancient history are commonplace, given the complexity of the subject. However, there should be a thorough investigation and supporting evidence for any conflicts within the field. Without substantial support, disparaging remarks run the risk of undermining the field's credibility and confusing and misrepresenting the general public. As a result, it is the responsibility of archaeologists to carry out exhaustive studies that are based on both archaeological principles and scientific concepts. To rebuild and comprehend earlier societies, this entails excavating, cataloging, and analyzing material remains, such as artifacts, buildings, and human remains. Archaeologists must follow ethical standards and procedures to protect archaeological sites from unwarranted harm or destruction during excavations. They need to share their expertise, discoveries, and interpretations with the general public, as well as record and preserve their findings for future generations. Archaeologists have a responsibility to collaborate and engage in open discussion with their peers. In addition to taking into account other perspectives and interpretations, they should give their hypotheses and interpretations based on the data they've gathered. The field of archaeology develops and advances through this continual discussion and debate, improving our comprehension of the past. It is the duty of archaeologists to make their findings understandable and accessible to the general public. By allowing the general population to enjoy and learn from the rich cultural heritage of past civilizations, this helps to bridge the gap between academia and society. Archaeologists encourage cultural appreciation and a broader understanding of our common human history by distributing information. Furthermore, archaeologists have responsibilities outside of academia. They play a part in promoting the protection and preservation of historical sites and other forms of cultural heritage. Archaeologists contribute to ensuring the preservation of these sites for future generations by increasing public awareness of their worth and significance. Archaeologists have a responsibility to undertake thorough research, abide by ethical standards, participate in open dialogue, share the results with the public, and promote the preservation of ancient sites. Archaeologists help us understand and value past civilizations and their cultural heritage by carrying out these duties. Although there is no disputing Zahi Hawass's contributions to Egyptology, his recent contentious claims that archaeologists are lying about the pyramids have drawn harsh condemnation. Contrary to what he argues, the archaeological world generally agrees that a combination of skilled artisans and a sizable labor force created the pyramids. In order to prevent misunderstandings and maintain the integrity of the discipline, it's crucial to approach any claims relating to ancient history from a scientific and evidence-based viewpoint. Hey, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more, and thank you for watching.